The other day, I had a patient who I was seeing for a low back issue, but after having an extensive conversation about the symptoms, I noticed the patient was more down than usual. And it turned out they fell victim to an online scam and were involved in some really heavy litigation to recover their identity and the money stolen. This wasn't the first time I've heard this happen either. It happens to people of all ages, especially as nowadays the schemes have gotten more and more elaborate. Obviously, the tech companies need to step up their game to dissuade and punish the scammers, but at the same time, I'm a preventive focused doctor, so I realize it's also on me to alert you to the most common scams out there. Think about it like I'm vaccinating you with information to keep you from falling victim to these scams. Huge thanks to Bitdefender for sponsoring this video.
AI deepfakes like this one are all over the internet right now. That's right, this isn't actually me. It's an AI generation of my body and voice.
Let's say goodbye to him and hello to the real me. It's not hard to understand how dangerous this kind of technology is, especially when it's used to mimic a licensed physician. Now imagine getting a panic call from what looks like your kid saying that they're in trouble. That's how people are getting tricked. So if you feel pressure to act fast or send money without verifying anything, that's a huge red flag. You've seen QR codes on menus, parking meters, or even on billboards on the street. Scammers now post fake codes over that redirect you to malicious websites. Once you scan it, they can install malware or trick you into entering your bank or insurance login info. Just because it looks official doesn't mean it actually is. Always double check the source before scanning. If you need to, re-enter the website link manually. Children being blackmailed online. This one is heartbreaking. We hosted the FBI on the Checkup podcast where they warned about these huge blackmail scams where kids are tricked into sharing private photos or videos, then demanding money or more and more content. These scammers are truly scummy because at times they pretend to be another teen, gain trust, then flip it into extortion. Parents, please talk to your kids early. They need to know that this isn't their fault and they should tell you immediately. During health insurance open enrollment, when you sign up to get new health insurance, scammers flood inboxes and phones with fake offers. We can get you a cheaper plan. We can give you a gift card if you sign up now. We just need your social security number. They may sign you up for junk coverage, but many just full on steal your info. The FTC warns every year, only use healthcare.gov or your state marketplace and never trust a cold call. Someone's impersonating you. Scammers will message or call saying your identity has been stolen, maybe even pretending to be the IRS, your bank, or your doctor's office. They'll claim they need to verify your account to stop the fraud. Ironically, that's the scam itself. Minnesota Vikings star Dallas Turner was actually the victim of this scam last year and lost $250,000. So if someone says your identity is compromised and pressures you to act quickly, hang up right away, call the official number on your card or statement. That's the right approach. Medical identity theft. So this is something new, but it happened to my dad's close friend recently where they got a bill for several doctor's visits and physical therapy appointments that they never had. Imagine opening a bill for tens of thousands of dollars for medical procedures that are legit, but ones that you never had. That's what medical identity theft is. Someone uses your insurance to get care or even file fake claims. It can mess up your credit, your medical record, or even future access to your treatment. Always read your explanation of benefits. If you see care you didn't get, report it right away. For many victims, the worst part of all these scams isn't the lost money or headaches it can cause.
I would say that scams are 99% psychology and just 1% technology.
That's Bogdan from Bitdefender, who sponsored this video. They've been conducting pioneering research on these new AI scams and have helped protect people online for over 20 years.
Shame and guilt play a huge role into this type of cybercrime going unnoticed. Most of the times they will not report scams because they feel ashamed about admitting that they have fallen victim to.
As I said earlier, I've seen the shame in my own patients too. It starts with anxiety about getting money back, but then it moves to guilt, blame, and heavy cognitive distortions that truly wreck their mental health. Bitdefender has 32 free decryption tools released to fight ransomware globally, saving an estimated $1.6 billion in ransom fees.
People are normally wearing the stigma of having fallen victim to a scam. That's something that we need to dispel immediately because everybody can become a victim.
Guard your family's digital world with Bitdefender. Click the link in the description to get started protecting you and your family's devices. Look, I get we all love saving money, but those cheap meds, no prescription required websites are almost always scams. Pills might be expired, contaminated, or full-on completely fake. Some contain 0 active ingredients, others contain dangerously, potentially addictive ones. The only safe online pharmacies are ones that require a doctor's prescription and have a licensed pharmacist available. Scamscriptions trick people into signing up for recurrent charges that they never really agreed to. They usually start with something that sounds harmless, like a free trial, or just pay shipping deal, or even a contest entry that asks for your credit card. Hidden in the fine print is an auto renewal that starts billing you right away, often under some vague company name you won't recognize on your statement. By the time you do notice, canceling becomes a nightmare. Emails bounce, phone numbers loop endlessly, and the cancel button simply doesn't exist. The FTC tried cracking down on this, but given that so many of these are abroad, it makes it tough. So if you're ever asked for a credit card on a free offer, think twice. Look, you might already know that I'm not a huge fan of hyper health tracking, as there are legit medical health harms that come from over tracking, especially when it's not perfectly accurate or legitimately actionable. But you should also worry that some of these free health apps might be actually selling your sleep data, heart rate, or location to data brokers. This information can be used to target ads or even influence what kind of insurance offers you get. Now, there are laws against this for health insurance, but other types of insurance, that's fair game. So always read the privacy policy and stick to the trusted brands. If an app asks for way more permissions than it needs, that's a bad sign. Fake podcast invites are all the rage. This one actually hits close to home, as I recently got a very professional looking email inviting me to be on the Mel Robbins podcast. Everything looked legit. Logos, signatures, even past guest names. I even went the extra steps, hopped on the call with the scammer to figure out what the scam actually was. Turned out they were gonna execute a pig butchering scheme. I'm the pig, where they send money to my account, it shows up as pending. Then they say, oh, so sorry, it was the wrong amount. Can you please send back some part of it? Once I do, their original transaction cancels and bounces. These scams target doctors, small business owners, and creators, basically anyone flattered by their recognition. Remember, real podcast invitations are not that shady. So let me hook you up with 5 preventive steps that I think everyone should take. 1, pause before you click or send money. Scams rely on urgency, because when you're acting urgently, it's likely you're not checking. Oh, and you know how they say don't click on links you don't know? That's true, but we should expand that to attachments that you don't know, even PDFs. 2nd, verify directly. Hang up on those cold callers, call the number on your insurance, bank card, pharmacy, never the one in the suspicious message, even if it's hyperlinked and looks correct, as it can be manipulated. 3, use strong passwords and 2-factor authorization, especially for email, health portals, banking apps, and for your phone. 4, monitor your accounts, review bank statements, insurance explanation of benefits, and credit reports regularly, even if it is a pain. And 5, this is the most important, talk openly about this with your family. Warn kids, parents, grandparents. Scams hit all ages, and a quick conversation could prevent a full-on disaster. Which of these scams have you or someone you know run into? Drop it down below in the comments. I'm curious because I want to see how common these are. And remember, if something online feels off, it probably is. The biggest healthcare scams in American history actually just happened this last year. Click here to learn about that story. And as always, stay happy and healthy.